Alright, we're back. This time we're at Darlington, which looks a little more rough than normal because they gave us a little update today, which makes the track a little more intense. I'll talk about that in the keys of the race card. Number 1, tires, because, again, back to that track thing where things got a little more intense. It's a little more difficult to keep the tires on the car, so that's obviously a big one. And number 2, full power. 750 horsepower, giving us all that goodness with low downforce back on a bigger track, which we haven't seen this since 2018, even though this car has slightly more downforce than the 2018 car did, but a lot less than now. So there's that. And number 3, well, track's in the fixed setup at least, it's quite loose, and you're really racing the track. You're not really racing anybody else. And that's pretty much it as I wrecked myself, but we're gonna get to the pit road and then we'll do the lap. 2 laps actually. Alright, making our way to pit road, which is quite tricky. So, go all the way down to second gear, 45 miles per hour. Your commitment cone's right there, and very sideways, the start of pit road. 45 miles per hour, really long and bumpy pit road. Here's your exit cone to where you can accelerate, stay under the yellow line till the backstretch, and you'll see the blue cone right here. And like the rest of the track, it's really slippery. And onto the lap. Alright, so I said I was going to show 2 laps. This one is NIS weather, which is like 107 when I did this lap, compared to A fixed, which is 84. So that's why. So I'm going to show the A fixed right now. Then I'll show the NIS fixed, and then I'm going to talk about the NIS fixed. So let that one play. Alright, so let's take a look at the NIS fixed lap. 106, I think. Track temp, I said 107, but I think it cooled to 106 at the time of that lap. So let's see how this lap was done, and then we'll talk about it. Alright, that gave me a 28.8, which is way slower than we were yesterday, actually. Because of this update, things slowed down a little bit. And something I forgot to mention, fix setup, always fix setup. That's what I always test in and all that, and do this little track guide thing with. And the steering ratio, let me just take a look at it, was a 14-to-1 and plus 10 offset to kind of get that wheel straight. And that's it, no changes. So like I said, we're a little bit slower than yesterday, but that's all because of the update that we just got. So everything you learned on Monday, forget about it and just throw it away. Anyways, we're here to talk about this lap. And I'm so happy we got this low downforce package for this track, and it should have been this way from the beginning. Now I'm going to be kind of disappointed everywhere else. Never get to see this package again. Alright, so we're going to make our way into turn 1. Now our instincts tell us not to go below the banking, which is right here. All this is the apron banking. You get the point. But in this particular package, I guess, and track, you kind of want to use some of that. So when we take our little turn into the corner, once we get into the banking, I'm starting to get on the brakes just a tiny bit. I know it's a saying to use the word brake in 2021, but it's happening. So we're aiming for this little black section here, right under the dotted line. See how there's some rubber down there? Well, that's some of the line we're using. So we aim for that, let it roll. Once you get past that, you start picking up the throttle, and we're going to drift all the way up to almost touching the outside wall. Use full throttle for a split second, and then we let off so we can set up our little diamond here to get a nice straight launch off the corner. We're aiming for these dots here. Once they end, that's when you know you've gone down far enough. Stay in the throttle and hope you don't kill the wall. So into 3 is a little bit of a different story because we're using a lot more brake, and pretty much right here is where I'm getting on them. You can see this post of the light, this building, and the tree. Just use all this little section as a reference, and we're going to use a lot more brake than we did trailing on it. Again, kind of doing that little lower entry. Once you let off the brake, let it drift up to the wall. Once we're here at the Darlington side, I use throttle and start turning back down to get a nice straight launch, which you can see right there. Nice straight launch, I guess, even though I got a little sideways, but that's pretty much it. Alright, that's it for this track guide. You can see the difference in lap time because of weather, and it's quite refreshing to be back in a real car, you know, something that's challenging. Not that nonsense we dealt with for the past 2 years. So anyways, Sim Racing Chewy sign.